Grinnell Glacier overlook. You can actually see this is the glacier. And what was kind of unfortunate was a few days later, when I was hiking this, they were saying, "Oh yeah, the trails finally opened up, the ice melted, and this that." There was actually people down here, and I was like, "Oh." So sometimes timing is there, and sometimes it's not. They actually, when I did this hike, they had just opened the Highline Trail too. It was closed because of snow and slippery conditions. Because as you can see from some of these trails here, that the Highline is called the Highline for a reason. Yeah, so again, the Highline is called Highline because it's up there and then it's just steep. So I mean, it's a drop. And when I'm taking a rest here at the Grinnell Glacier overlooking, again, this is Grinnell Lake. I was there 2 days before, all that, or one day, whatever it was. And I'm laying there, and all of a sudden I feel something on my leg, and there's another chipmunk just licking my leg. I'm leaning on my pack, kind of taking a short nap, and I'm just like, wow, okay. So kind of cool. But as you can see here, yeah, it's steep. So the Highline's not horrible. For me, though, I didn't want to do an out and back. Like, that's the one thing. I don't, like I said, I like loops. I don't like doing out and backs. And the out and back would be, it's like 8 miles to the chalet and then 8 miles back or something like that. It's maybe a little less. But for me, I'm like, ugh, no thank you. And this is kind of where there's 3 miles left. And I'm just like, oh, please, for the love of God. I'm just dying. That's what this video is here. And that's all I'm explaining. But this is right towards the end. So again, here's Logan's Pass right up here. Here's the loop that comes down. See the road, it goes way the heck over there. And yeah, it was something. This actually kind of shows you the trail profile here. So again, the loop starts at 4,300 roughly. And then Logan's Pass there and like where you peak. And again, that doesn't even include the extension I did up to Swiftcurrent Outlook. So yeah, beware. And then I think here it even warns you. Yeah, consider the 7.2 mile round trip scenic hike from Logan Pass to Haystack Butte. Yeah, so that's there. So again, if you know, they had the shuttle service I found out after the fact. So you could do this, you know, hike down and take the shuttle up or vice versa. I didn't know this, but so I decided, no, I'm going to ride my bike, which I do not regret. That was awesome. And then hiked up, got my car, and then drove down. But one thing I will say that I always consider, like I said, is going downhill. For me is harder than uphill because just it hurts the joints so bad. And yeah, so whereas I'd rather take the muscular and cardiovascular strain. That's not what I wanted. Okay. So after this, I decided I'm going to go up to Bowman Lake. It's north. It's not a hugely popular place. And on the way up there, there was actually a bear that crossed the road. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to get him in time. By the time I pulled over and everything, he got away and disappeared in the bushes. But I took this picture kind of remind myself of that. And then, yeah, so Bowman Lake, this is way north. There's not as many people. Fair warning, going to Bowman Lake in a car is not recommended. I did that. It was horrible. You get to the town, whatever it's called, Polebridge or something like Polebridge Town. Yeah. Once you get there and you start actually heading to the gate, oh my God, it's a rock. It sucks. And I mean, even vehicle like a Subaru Outback, it was horrible. It's just this horrible rock thing. I don't know why they haven't graveled it, but yeah. And then even going, once you get in there to like Bowman Lake, I mean, it's a dirt road, but I mean, it's got plenty of potholes and stuff. So like if I go back, I'm kind of like, screw it, park my car there and ride my bike. And that's something I like to do too, is ride my bike and go distance stuff. But fair warning about Bowman Lake. But it is beautiful. It's kind of got like a teal color, and you can see the mountains here. So since I got there like mid-afternoon, I decided to go hike to Quartz Lake, so that day I did the loop, and I was like, I'm done. I'm heading. I didn't know of any other hikes around here that I really wanted to do that day, so I decided, like I said, to come here. I saw that bear right around here, and then I continued up. Yep, Polebridge. Like I said, this is where the road gets horrible. And then I drove up this road again, horrible. And then I did this hike to Quartz Lake, and you can camp there. It's like 6 miles, I think. Like, it's 12 miles round trip. All I know is this was the easier way. Like, it was gradual, whereas this was kind of up and down. So if I were to do it again, I'd probably go up and down this way and go this way, just because this was much more gradual. I always try to choose a gradual downhill and a steep uphill. if that's what I have to do, just because, like I said, joints and all that. So that's what I did on this day. Yeah, and as you'll see, so this is Quartz Lake. Wasn't much to see on the hike up. It was mainly just woods. Now, again, I was hiking on the way up, making noise, and at one point near Bowman Lake, I don't know, somewhere over here. I was going this way, somewhere over here, and all of a sudden I heard this loud crashing through the woods, and again, I'm making noise, hey bear, and so I don't know if it was a moose, a bear. It was definitely something sizable. So, but I let them know where I was, and they took off. So, again, some cool photos of the creek. You can kind of see here in this video. There's this trout. Again, having like clear water and seeing trout, foreign to me, a Midwesterner. So, cool to see. And then coming back, and then I want to say this is sunset, but it might be sunrise the next day. So I end up actually camping in Bowman Lake. And so, getting a camp reservation in the park is sometimes hard. And this was right around 4th of July too. But one of the nice things about Bowman Lake is you don't need a reservation. It's first come, first serve. Some of the other campgrounds, like down here, like Lake McDonald or Fish Creek or whatever, they require reservations. At least to some degree. You can get first come, first serve. And even like some of these backcountry camps, some of them you have to get reservations. Or you can be like me, walking to a backcountry building and say, hey, what's available, and just go do them. So, but that was a nice thing about Bowman, because I was actually going to drive out and I was going to camp in the national forest here next door, but I didn't have to. So I was like, oh, cool. So that's what I ended up doing. And then the next day I went and hiked a Numa Ridge to the lookout. And that's what you're going to see here. Yeah, and it wasn't much to see. It's mostly woods. This is from the lookout, and then Bowman Lake. And this was this one little lake trail that you could have done, which at this point I was kind of done with alpine lake trails. They started looking same, and that's one thing you'll find in any national park. Is after a few days you start to be like, all right, I get it. But it was cool. And then on my way down, I ran into some grouse. I thought they were pheasant at first, and I was like, no, those are grouse. Because I was like, I don't. Yeah, and they had babies too. They're females. There was this weird looking like pine cone thing. I don't know what it is, but I thought it was cool. And then again, just another grouse that I ran into. Yep, there it is. And then the last thing I did before leaving was I actually rented a pack raft. For those of you unfamiliar with it, it's like a little inflatable raft. It weighs like 10 pounds max, and it's kind of like a whitewater raft, as you'll see. And I was able to get it through Backcountry Outfitters out of Browning, Montana. Shout out to them. And I went down the Flathead River, in the middle fork of the Flathead here, which was between Glacier and the National Forest area. And he was able to help me say, hey, do this and that. Since I had a bike, again, another reason for having a bike is that I was able to park my car downstream, bike upstream with the pack in my big backpack, because I had a big backpack. Put in, I left my bike there and I locked it up, and then I went downstream to my car, and then just came back, got my bike. Now, these pack rafts, the cool thing about them is when you're more skilled, you can actually put your bike on the pack raft and actually take it with you. There's plenty of videos of that, which is something I intend to do when I'm older and I have more financial stuff. But right now, not so much. So this is me just kind of recording this. Like I said, I recorded this, and he had the PFD that you need, paddle and raft, and then this was pretty tame section of the river. There are definitely not so tame sections. So depending on what kind of thrills you're looking for, I was just trying to fish and stuff too, but on the first day anyway. Then the next day, I did go through some heavier rapids and just get some splashes going. Yeah. So there's sections like that, and you just learned how to take them. I will say these pack rafts are much more stable in a whitewater kayak. I've been in them. I've been in a whitewater kayak, and in a whitewater kayak I would have flipped, no question. I'm a beginner, but packraft was much more doable. And nice thing is single person, so you could do however you want. You could do it unguided. Yeah. And so that was kind of the last thing I did. The nice thing about, again, the national forest and along this river, there's actually spots where you can just camp. As you can see here, people just pulled their car actually on the beach and actually had a rooftop camper, and there's some tents over here. And doing proper research helps you identify places you can camp. I camped there. This whole trip that I did was kind of impromptu. I found some vacation time and I said, let's go. And I kind of spent a day doing the research and then looked up, all the regulations for camping and all that. And then I said, let's go, and kind of made it up as I went. So kind of made it fun. But I think that's all the photos I have. Yep. Of Glacier National Park. So I hope this video is helpful with you determining kind of what hikes you want to do and how you want to visit the park. Like I said, if you're just going through and you can't really do much, drive through. There's plenty of sights to see here. Do Hidden Lake Trail for sure. You want to see some wildlife, definitely Many Glaciers is the place to go. Doing this trail here around Swiftcurrent Lake, maybe Grinnell Lake if you're feeling up to it, as well as the Swiftcurrent Trail here. And then obviously some of the other stuff, check with the visitor center on what you could do, places you could see. I still plan to go back and do some other hikes like Mount Brown Lookout. And I want to go back to Two Medicine and do the Dawson Pass and the Pittockman Pass. But like I said, even walking around Two Medicine isn't bad. And then Bowman Lake, the Quartz Lake hike wasn't too horrible for me at least, but yeah, definitely know your limits and what you can do. Like I said, I didn't do everything. I didn't go up to Kitten Lake. The ranger did say that road's rough too, so be mindful of what you have. You can do it in a car. Like I said, you could do this whole thing in a car. That's what I did. You just got to be careful. And like I said, just research everything. Like I said, the nice thing about being on the east side, especially, is there's more options. It's less crowded too, whereas the west side is more crowded. But yeah, something to consider. Another thing, I wasn't able to actually go up here because, again, this was during COVID and they weren't allowing people into Canada. And so this is an area I still need to explore as well. So once I do, I'll definitely have to make an update video. But yeah, like I said, hope this video is helpful and you can find some cool ways to get out and explore Glacier National Park.